Hi, welcome to Painting with Miranda. Um, I'm going to talk you through while I paint. Um, it's going to be a various version of one of my videos. I already did one of my videos, my introduction video, and right now I'm going to be talking while I paint. Right now I'm updating a painting I did many, many years ago. I will probably do a before and after, but here's the mid process. So this painting I did back in 2011 in acrylic. When you paint in acrylic, you can always paint again over top with oils, but you can't do it the other way around. You cannot paint in oils and then paint on top with acrylics. The acrylics won't stick. It's, if you think about it, oils are too oily. There's nothing for the acrylic to stick to. But acrylics are very similar to like gesso. Um, Oils will stick to the acrylic. And it'll be fine. So because this was acrylic underneath it and I did not varnish it, if you varnish it, it's done. You can't do anything else to it. You can take off the canvas. If you are absolutely like done with it, you do not like it, or you want to frame it, you can take off the canvas from the frame and restretch a different piece of canvas onto that. So let's say I varnished this. I want to put it in a frame. I can gently unstaple it from this framing canvas from its frame and put it in a different frame to frame professionally. I can restretch new canvas on this stretching frame and then gesso that and do a new piece on it. Whole different process, whole different video. Now, to what I'm doing before, when I originally did this, I only did this video like this painting maybe took me 10 minutes because I just did swipe, swipe, splatter, splatter. And that was it. I am doing a very similar concept, but not. Like, I want the look to be similar, but I don't want it to be the same. The original look was supposed to be a cherry blossom tree, but I don't want it to be as cheap looking. I want it to look nicer, but I still want it to be a little bit more abstract. So what I did is I did the trees, the trunk I did in palette knife. So it has the texture, it has the look of a tree trunk without all the work. Sometimes, especially with oil painting, but painting in general, you can do a lot of the detail and the work without the time. That's what I found I ran into the most issues when it came to painting is sometimes a lot of the detail work took so much time. Like all these flowers, if I wanted to do detailed flowers, cherry blossoms, I could paint every single individual flower, but that would take forever. Who wants to paint every single flower, one by one? No, F that. That's Quinn. She's a level 5 clinger. Yeah. But I'm not going to paint every single flower. Little brush. Start with the darker colors. I have the blue in the background. I have the tree branches. The blue and the purple and the brown will give me my shadows. I stamp in those darker colors. And then I start to add the lighter pinks on top. But I don't necessarily wash out my brush. Especially with oils, you don't wash out your brush because that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to wash out a brush when it comes to oils because it's a different process. You don't have water. And turpentine can stink. So you don't want to use a ton of it. You don't want to use it often. So I just start layering. I add, let me show you a little bit more what I'm doing. I add some of those purples in. I add them right on top. And if they mix in with the brown, that's okay. These are the shadows. Sometimes they will mix, like this branch was quite heavy. So the browns are going to mix quite a bit. So I'm trying not to touch the full branch or go right over the top too heavily because otherwise then it's going to get very, very muddy. And I don't want that. And I do want some of the branch to show through because you still want it to look like a tree, not a pink fuzzy ball on a brown turd. So I keep it spread out. I want still some of the brown branches to show through. Give it a little bit of variety. And I do different variations of the color. So I start with some of the dark purple, go in, add some of the light pink, and then I will end with just white. I don't make light pink white. Because when I stab in the white, yes, I am stabbing. It's technically called stippling. But who is going to be technical here? Stabby, 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 stabby. Pokey, 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 pokey. When I go in and stab in light, it will blend in to some pink. And those final touches of the brightest brights, I will just touch the white. Touch, touch, touch. And then that should be good. I don't want to blend in too much. Because if you do too much, then you're going to lose your white. You want the brightest of bright to be the last touch. That's it. You sign it and it's good. And yes, I do re-sign it. Because it's a reimagining. And I do call it the same name, but reimagine. So I go in with the purple in some of these areas. And because some of these areas I do have just regular pink, you will hear my son in the background. He's watching his videos. Some purples. And they will mix with the pink. That is fine. It's not going to kill anything. Sometimes people think too much. The thing about painting is it helped me not think so much because in life I have a tendency to think too much. And sometimes the paint will gob up at the top right here. So I will go and paint a little bit on the side to get it off and then reload. You just want to get rid of all of that paint. And always refer back to your reference. Find out where your darks are, where your light is coming from in your painting. So let's say in this tree, I want the light coming from this side. So I want all the white coming to here and all the shadow down here and on the undersides right here. So that is where all of my dark purples are going to be. So it makes it look right because you got to think, where is the shadow going to be? If the light is coming from my window right here, all of my shadows are back here. opposite. Everything that there's something covering is going to have a shadow. Now, oils take a very long time to dry. So I have places all around on my walls that are areas to hang for them to dry. They're off the floor, off of areas to touch. So little hands, little paws, don't touch them. So they dry and they have time to dry. Acrylics, not the same. I can blend quickly and easily, nicely, because of that slow drying time. On the other hand, with acrylics, I have a very quick drying time, but I can layer. So I can do washes, kind of like watercolors. I may not be able to blend as nicely, but I can do a wash to blend. So I do the whole thing, and then I might do another one, and then wash right over it, and just layer upon layer upon layer. But it's because it dries so fast, I can do that quickly. I can do a whole painting in like a half hour, and it'll be dry within another half hour. I could probably dish out like 5 paintings within a day if I really, really put my head to it. Getting that many ideas out, that's hard. And the willpower is also different. For now, this is all I got. Let me know if you have any other questions or want me to show you anything else.